In my last video, we put out an awesome skit showing you how to procrastinate your way to success. In this video, we're going to show you 5 ways to accelerate your learning, because we can all agree that we are busier than ever. And if we're trying to learn a new skill set, a new language, whatever it may be, time is of the essence. And you know, I've spent thousands of hours trying to find ways to think faster, be smarter, and just ultimately be the best person I could possibly be, which has led me to where I am today. If you haven't seen any of my videos, I would encourage you to check them out on this channel. And the best thing of all, it's free education. People pay thousands of dollars going to school, following this motion, this system where you pay for teachers, you pay for mentors, and then you get these assignments and you follow this motion. And the thing is, at the end of it, you get this piece of paper, but really, did you actually gain a skill set that will generate you revenue? Because at the end of the day, that's the whole point of going to school, is to get a job that will generate you income. And your teachers and your mentors should have told you that you probably could have bypassed this entire system if you figured out that you could just educate yourself and then take action. And if you haven't thought about that, or you haven't learned how to do that, I would encourage you to check out a lot of sources on the internet that will teach you how to make money without actually getting a degree. You know, going to school and following this system, a lot of people fall for this, and that's kind of where there's this educational crisis with student loans, because everyone thinks that going to school is going to get them rich or become successful, but really, it's not like that anymore. And going to school is an old system. That's why so much people are broke today and farther behind than they were before they started. If people just realize that they can gain a skill set by self-teaching and not paying for mentors and teachers, then you can apply your skill set and take action and build an entrepreneurial business. All right, without further ado, guys, let's go into the 5 tips on how to accelerate your learning. Enjoy. Tip number 1, why are you learning? Is it because you're taking a class or you're trying to develop a skill set and apply that to a job? First thing you have to do is understand why you're learning and how that is directly applicable to you. Perhaps it's for a future job or some skill set that will generate you revenue. Building that foundation and understanding that it's helpful for you will help you become more curious on learning that subject. And ultimately, that will help you retain it much better as well. Tip number 2, have a focus. If you have an idea of what you want to learn, I would encourage you to break it down into smaller steps. So when I was learning about real estate for the first time, and you know, it can be very intimidating to become or try to become an expert in something, because you think that you have to be an expert immediately or have a friend group or be a part of this association that makes you become an expert, have extra information that's available to you. But really, it's about, first step is about educating yourself. So when I was getting into real estate, I tried to consume every single thing of information that I could. And the thing was, this was actually extremely overwhelming and really too much information that was useful. What I found out over time, that I was very good at general knowledge, but I didn't find out and really learn anything that was directly applicable to what I wanted to do. So I encourage you on tip number 2 is that you gotta have a focus on what you wanna study and become an expert at that field, because knowing everything is not gonna be helpful, because you'll really just be useless. It's about knowing something that's directly applicable in your life and then using that to your advantage. Tip number 3, set time aside. If you have a limited amount of time to do something, what will likely happen? I know for me, I'll probably procrastinate and wait till the last minute to learn or focus on a subject. So if you give yourself a constriction of time, you will put pressure on yourself to study, to work, whatever it may be, and that will ultimately help you get things done faster, which will then help you have more time in your personal life to do something else. So this is a good strategy if you give yourself a deadline, even if it's like 1 hour of hard focus on a subject and then you switch to the next topic. So really that puts pressure on yourself to learn as much as you can within that hour before going to the next topic. Tip number 4, understand it, don't memorize it. I know in school you could probably get pretty far with just memorizing information, but in the real world, it's about understanding that information and having a good basis. So when you go into school, or when you go into a job, or you go into developing some type of skill set, I encourage you to understand the foundation, because knowing the information is not going to be useful, because anyone can memorize information. It's about understanding it and where it comes from and what meaning it holds in context with another subject. And ultimately, that's going to help you understand the information much faster, which will accelerate your learning process, because you don't have to memorize it. You'll understand it logically, and therefore it'll retain in your long-term memory much longer. Tip number 5, apply what you just learned. I know you might say reading information will help me memorize and understand information, but ultimately reading information doesn't mean anything if you can't apply it in different ways. I would encourage you to take the information you just learned and make something else out of it. That could be a PowerPoint, that could be an Excel file, that can be a shortened list of notes for you to understand. And so same thing here, when I was learning about real estate, I had all this information. I read so many books and read hundreds of forums on real estate. But the thing was, I had no way to prove that I understood it. So what I had to do that I found useful for me was I developed a calculator that basically broke down what if scenarios for every single situation that I could think of in a real estate deal. So now I have this calculator that is useful for me, and I can use it to quickly analyze deals much faster. If you can truly grow to understand the 5 steps that I just shared with you in this video, I challenge you to utilize it immediately. I encourage you to walk through those 5 steps in your own life and apply it to something that you're excited and wanting to learn about. Once you do this, you will understand what it means to accelerate your learning. Thanks for watching. Hope you have a great day. Take care.